A deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz is said to be in the final stages in ongoing talks between Iran and Oman. But Iran is issuing a new warning this morning that it will attack Gulf states' energy infrastructure if the U.S. launches further attacks. President Trump says he'd rather make a deal.
I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to kill people. I do not want to kill people. We were set for the biggest attack of any attack, and we've hit them very hard for the last few months. But we were all set for the biggest attack since World War II. And they called me and they said, please don't do it. Let's talk.
NewsNation Washington correspondent Cory Smith joining us from the White House with more on these developments. Cory, good morning. What details do we know about this deal to reopen the strait?
Well, to be online today and see what Gulf officials are saying, it appears that there is momentum behind this deal. We know that the final language is being drafted. It ultimately will be up to the supreme leader of Iran to sign off on it. And of course, the U.S. has to agree to it as well. A lot of folks, when they think about reopening the strait, this may not be the deal that they were thinking about, but it is the one perhaps the president hinted at on Tuesday when he was asked about reopening the strait and said, we'll know in 48 hours. Well, that would be today. So as we continue to watch this play out, it could be a major breakthrough. But critics of the president's strategy in Iran say it would represent a major concession on the part of the U.S. and leave Iran with more leverage over the strait than it had before the war began. And we should point out right now this proposal would be for a temporary deal. According to a source familiar with the talks, Iran would control the northern portion of the strait closest to its coastline and regulate incoming traffic. Oman would control the southern side and oversee outbound traffic. Now, the southern side of the strait is the portion the U.S. military has said is open to commercial vessels. We know there's also been some talk of some sort of fee with revenue shared by both parties. Iran apparently wanting a little more than Oman. We know the U.S. has been adamant in its objection to having any tolls levied in the strait. The agreement also would be subject to international maritime law, contingent upon the U.S. lifting its naval blockade, which is why you have seen Iran say the deal could be sunk if a third party interferes, obviously referencing the United States. But if this all does come together, it could go a long way in restarting negotiations between the U.S. and Iran on other resolved issues in this conflict. In a new interview, Vice President J.D. Vance addressed the frustration many Americans feel over the lack of clarity coming from the White House on where exactly negotiations stand and how close or far we are away from a deal.
I can certainly understand the American people are maybe looking at this and they say, well, it seems like we're making progress and then it seems like we're not. Well, the reality, Laura, is that number one, the Iranians are extraordinarily difficult people. Number two, they have a fractured system. So there are people within their system who want the war to be over. There are also people within their system who are crazy radicals who want the war to continue. Our job is to navigate through that and get the best outcome for the American people.
Now, another obstacle in these negotiations, of course, the conflict in southern Lebanon. The good news, peace talks in Rome between Israel and Lebanon could resume today after they ended early. That is because Israel launched a new round of strikes in the area, claiming Hezbollah violated the terms of the ceasefire. So, Marni, as the morning progresses, all eyes on Iran and Oman to see if the two sides can come together. The Ayatollah signs off and we ultimately get a deal to reopen the strait and move on from there.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.